Hey everybody, and welcome to my channel, Restaurant Recipe Recreations. This channel is dedicated to teaching you how to create your favorite signature dishes from the most popular restaurants. And in this episode, I'm going to teach you how to create the Cheesecake Factory's Chicken Madeira. Now, if you've ever eaten at a Cheesecake Factory, you know that their menu is just absolutely massive. It's almost overwhelming. In fact, it's so big that they actually sell advertising space right there in the menu. So, you know, it's just crazy. I mean, there's hundreds of items on this menu. And if you're anything like me, if you go to the Cheesecake Factory, you've got your face fixed for something, you think you're definitely going to get that, but then you get there and you look at the menu and you get completely overwhelmed and you've changed your mind like 5 or 6 times by the time the server comes to get your order. But as far as the chicken dishes are concerned, their chicken Madeira is definitely their most popular and requested menu item in the chicken department, if you will. So I'm going to show you how to create that at home. And it's going to be complete with all the sides, exactly how they serve it in the restaurant with the mashed potatoes and everything. So I'm excited to show you this today. If you have seen any of my other episodes before, or you know anything about me, you'll know that I've got everything that I need ready to go in the portions that I already need, so that when that cooking process starts, it just makes it a lot easier, it makes it more enjoyable, and it's a lot faster. So I've got everything that I need right here. Now, this dish that I'm going to show you today is a little bit more involved than some of my other episodes. It's not hard, just follow along with me, and I will have the full ingredient listing in the description below, but it is a little bit more involved. So we're going to take some time and show you how to make the Cheesecake Factory's Chicken Madeira. I'm excited about this episode. I've got my hair up. I'm ready to get to work, and I hope you enjoy this episode. All right, let's get started. We need to prep the asparagus for this dish. We're going to go ahead and we're going to trim the tough bottom parts of the asparagus. It usually happens where the color changes from a green into like a light purple or a white. Those are the tough and fibrous parts of the asparagus that are just frankly nasty. You want to get rid of those. Use this for chicken stock or just simply throw away. 1 8-ounce package of thinly sliced button mushrooms. You want to make sure that you get off that extra dirt that comes out of a package of mushrooms, either using a mushroom brush or just even your fingers. Do not rinse them though. Mushrooms are like sponges, and they'll soak up all that water that you don't want. So just brush them off. We're going to get the potatoes ready for the mashed potatoes. This dish is served on a bed of red skin mashed potato, a very rough mash. So I'm going to show you how to do that, but first we need to prep the potatoes. I'm going to peel the potatoes, but not entirely. I like to leave about, oh geez, runaway potato. I would say 3/4 of the way through. You don't want too much skin in the mashed potato, too much skin in the game, but a little bit is always nice, adds a little color, adds a little texture. Okay, we're gonna get started here. I've got my pan on high. I have about 4 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil in it. I've got 4 chicken breasts here. These are thin chicken breasts that I ordered from the store already thin. If your chicken breasts are thicker, you're going to want to go ahead and pound those out. Just put them between 2 pieces of parchment paper or saran wrap and pound it with the flat side of a mallet, kitchen mallet. This is a very simple dredge. All it is flour, salt, and pepper. Now you never want to overcrowd the pan. So I'm only going to put 3 of the chicken breasts in at this point, and I'll go ahead and do the 4th one later. Overcrowding the pan will ensure that your chicken does not get a nice crust, and then it just sort of sits in the pan and steams. So I'm just going to do the 3 chicken breasts at this point. I can put this one in the dredge just to get it ready. We're going to let these bad boys sizzle in here for a bit, and we're not going to touch them. I have raw chicken on this plate, so this is going to get discarded right in the sink. We're not going to use that again until it's been cleaned. I've got a sizzle plate here covered with parchment paper that I'm going to use to transfer the chicken to once it gets a little crust on it. Okay, this has been about 4 minutes on this side. I'm going to go ahead and flip it. Slap it, flip it, rub it down. Oh! Now you know. We're not going to cook these breasts completely in the pan with the olive oil because they are going to finish for a little bit under the broiler with mozzarella cheese on them, and they're also going to be put back into the sauce. So we're just going to give each side a nice brown. As I said, about 4 minutes per side. If the breasts are thin, if you've got a much thicker breast, I recommend pounding it out, but if you decide that you don't want to do that, you're going to let it go about 5 to 6 minutes per side. Okay, my chicken has been browned on both sides, about 4 to 5 minutes per, and I've set that aside on a lined oven tray, like a sizzle plate or a cookie sheet. It's got some parchment on it. We're going to come back to that, but for now, we're still working with the same 4 tablespoons of olive oil and all of this delicious chicken, which is called the fond. And we're going to use that for the mushrooms because this all adds flavor. When it comes to cooking mushrooms in a pan, sauteing mushrooms, you want to make sure that your pan is very, very hot. Because otherwise, the mushrooms will act like a sponge and they'll soak up the oil that's in there, and you don't want that. You want them to get a nice brown on them, but you do not want them to get logged with the oil and the waters. Mushrooms are very full of water as it is, so they're going to release a lot of water content. That's why when you have like 8 ounces of mushrooms and you cook them down, you always wonder, where the heck did all my mushrooms go? So we're going to let these sit in a pan to get a nice color on them before we stir them or do anything. Again, we're still working with the 4 ounces of the olive oil. There's still a little bit of the flour that's in that oil that came off of the chicken. That's going to help thicken the sauce. And all of that delicious chicken fond, which all that is just extra chicken flavor for your sauce. Okay, once you see these mushrooms that start to get a nice brown color to them, that means that they're cooking up nicely here. They're getting nice and brown. You'll see that it looks like a lot less mushrooms when they cook down than when you first put them in the pan. And again, that's because that moisture has cooked out of the mushrooms, which is okay. That's what you want. Okay, now what we're going to add to these toasty and browned little buggers is 2 cups of Madeira wine. Madeira wine is a fortified Spanish wine. Now be careful when you put it in. It is going to sizzle, flash up a little bit. That's 2 cups of Madeira. We want to let that cook for a little bit longer before we add anything to it because we want the alcohol to cook off. Now, I am all about alcohol, but alcohol should be drunk, and you shouldn't be able to taste the alcohol in your food. You want the flavor of the wine, but you don't want that strong alcoholic flavor. Save that for your wine glass or your cocktail glass. Trust me, here in the South, we find every reason and every excuse under the sun to have a cocktail. The way to tell if the alcohol has burned off is you can just kind of put the steam towards your nose. If you can smell a strong alcohol flavor, let it keep going. You want the richness of the wine and when it cooks down, but you don't want that sort of afterburn or that aftertaste of alcohol. Okay, it smells like the alcohol is burned off at this point, so now I'm going to add 1 cup of beef stock or beef broth. I'm also going to add 2 tablespoons of unsalted butter, some cracked black pepper, give it a nice stir, and then we're just going to let that cook down. Okay, I've put my stove on about a medium heat because we're going to let this sauce reduce and cook down, but you don't want to have it boiling. You want to have it simmering. And so a nice medium to medium high heat is where you're going to be. And then once the sauce cooks down a little bit, we're going to put the chicken back in to get all of the flavors of the sauce incorporated on the chicken. And then we're going to pull the chicken back out, but I'll go over that in a bit. So let's just leave that alone for a little bit. And in the meantime, we can go ahead and get the potatoes prepped and the asparagus cooked to finish the dish. Okay, potatoes going in deep to salted and boiling water. Watch yourself, jeez. We're gonna let those go about 10 minutes or so, and we'll stick a fork in them at the 10-minute mark and see if they are tender enough for the mash. In the meantime, we'll move on to other things. Pop the asparagus into boiling salted water. You're not gonna let it cook too long. You don't want it to be mushy, but these are larger asparagus, so they're going to require a little bit more cooking time, but you still want them to be firm. Cooked throughout, but firm, not mushy. Mushy is never good. Okay, when the asparagus has reached its desired doneness, we're going to go ahead and take these out. Now, these were larger asparagus spears, so I let them go about 5 minutes in the already boiling water, salted water, I might add. The real thin asparagus, you might want to do about 3 minutes. Medium size, you're going to do about 4 minutes. But these went about 5 minutes. I'm going to take these out. I'm going to put them on a paper towel to drain. And we're just going to go ahead and set these aside. Okay, let's get these mashed potatoes ready. So we boiled them earlier. They are quartered, peeled mostly, but not all the way. All we need to do now is finish them. And like I said, it is a very, very easy mash. We're going to do 2 tablespoons of melted butter, 1 cup of heavy whipping cream. Yum! Plenty of salt. I did salt the water, but potatoes just really soak up salt. So I'm going to say start with probably about 1 teaspoon cracked black pepper. I am not going to use a hand mixer on this. And then we'll taste it and decide whether or not we need to add more salt. You can't take it away once it's in there if it's too salty. So be careful with the salt, or really any seasoning that you're using. And I think I have this to where I want it. As I mentioned, the Cheesecake Factory version is a very, what we call rough mash. It's not a smooth, creamy mashed potato. It's kind of chunky. It's got the red skins in there, and that looks just about perfect. So let's go back to the chicken for a bit, and we're about ready to start plating this up. We're just cooking the chicken with all of this beautiful sauce. We're going to top it at the end as well. So, all right, I'm going to take my chicken back out, put it back onto my oven-safe pan, because ultimately this chicken is going to be finished in the oven, broiled with mozzarella cheese. So let's leave all the mushrooms back in there. This sauce is completely ready to go. So I'm going to turn off my heat source here. Look how cute my little Williams-Sonoma fish plate. Okay, we're going to get this served up. This is what's for dinner tonight. So we've got 2 scoops of the rough mashed potato, red skin mash. Yeah, let's make it 2.5. No rules. I've got my amazing chicken breast that's been broiled with the mozzarella cheese. We're going to go ahead and lay it like so. Next, I'm going to drizzle this whole piece of chicken with this amazing Madeira mushroom sauce. Just incredible. Don't slop it all over the plate like I just did. Let's add some more mushrooms. Pop a little bit of that on the mashers. Let's do 4 beautiful bright green asparagus spears. Put a little bit more sauce on the asparagus, just a drizzle. And there you have it, my fellow Cheesecake Factory friends. If you liked this episode and you felt like it was either entertaining or informational, please consider subscribing and also hit the notification button. That'll let you know about all of my upcoming episodes. I do post about 2 episodes per week, so lots of ideas on recipes from your favorite restaurants, whether it's for lunch or dinner or weekend entertaining. You can also friendscape me on Pinterest, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, and there you'll receive notifications as well about my upcoming episodes. I hope you have a great day, y'all. Take care. Cheers. Thanks for watching.